Hello and welcome back to the lounge. Today is Thursday, May 17th, and this is Throwback Thursday. So welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about a couple different stories that have happened in the realm of our that we call Earth in the past, several hundred years. The first one that we're talking about, we're starting a little old. This was 2 days ago on Tuesday, May 15th, in 1756. The 7 Years' War begins. And so the 7 Years' War was a conflict here in the U.S. And again, this is all brought to you thanks to history.com/thisdayinhistory. And it's really cool. You could go and see what's going. I mean, they're not sponsoring us or anything. This is not an ad. I think it's a cool website. But you could go there. You could see things that have happened today, yesterday, tomorrow, 5 days from now, 2 months from now, and see what happened in the past on that given day. So you could go to your birthday and see what happened on your birthday, 1780 years ago. I don't know. And so the 7 Years' War was a global conflict known in America as the French and Indian War. It officially began when England declared war on France. However, fighting and skirmishes between England and France had been going on in North America for years. I studied a bit about this. This had to do a lot with the religions as well. A lot of English settlers at the time were Protestant. The French were Catholic. So the French and the English had different approaches to what they were trying to do. The goal here was to convert the Native Americans into Catholic/Christians, And what the English would do is they would go, this is what we want you to be. This is what you're going to be. Always cars honking, always, So the French were a little bit more passive, and they would go to the Indians. They would work with the Indians and try and convert them. They would learn their language. They would try and understand where the Indians were coming from, is a better way to put that. So it was a long time coming, apparently, and so it finally happened. I didn't even light my cigar. This is the Casa Cuevas Habano, 4 stars. That's what's on the label, not what I'm giving it. Today is not a cigar review. We're just here smoking a cigar while, talking about things that happened in history. Again, my scorched lighter, just for show, the toast. I don't know if you guys watched yesterday's, but talked about how this isn't really necessary, apparently. I've had this cigar before. It's a good cigar. Nice medium-bodied all throughout, not overbearing at all. Trucks keep driving by and distracting my train of thought. Nonetheless, though, so yeah, the 7 Years' War began. Crazy to think that. Imagine what 7 years is like. I'm 21. That's a third of my life that we would have been under war here in the U.S. In the U.S., nonetheless. So yeah, it's a third of my life. Now some of you are gonna be like 30. Let's say you're 35. That's a fifth of your life, right? 17. Yeah, 21. Yeah, a fifth of your life, we would have been under war. I think that's pretty iconic. So then, yesterday on Wednesday, in 1929, the first Academy Award ceremony. So this was like 90 years ago, 91 years ago, or 89 years ago, whatever, like 90 years ago. Pretty crazy. This night in 1929 marks the first ever Academy Award ceremony. Hollywood's annual celebration of the best its creative artists have to offer over the previous year. Crazy to think it's been that long since, I think that's the Oscars, right? They're talking about the Oscars. But crazy to think it's been going on for that long. I don't want to say the industry's dying, but we have YouTube now. We don't really need to go to the theater. We have Netflix. We have Hulu. We don't really need any of that. I just made a Spotify account like 2 days ago because Instagram paired with Spotify to allow you to, link songs in your stories. And, like, well, what was I saying? Oh, that when you link your account on Spotify to your student email address and you do the student plan, they give you Hulu for free. That's pretty crazy. I think that's a good deal. $4.99 for Hulu and Spotify. I mean, like, we're college students. We're broke, but we're not that broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, geez, that's a great deal. So, yeah, this night in 1929 marks the first ever Academy Awards ceremony. That's pretty crazy. Not too much to say about that. I don't really care. I just thought it was interesting for you guys. I know. And you know what? I wish that we could do like a Skype or something so we could talk or bring someone in. I'm gonna bring people in because these episodes of me talking, I don't know. Do you find them boring? Comment below if you find them boring. Like I feel like another person, guests, bring more guests in. I know on Tuesday we do Let's Talk Tuesday. So and on those days, we interview people and we talk with them about their history and what they do and all that. And, we've been doing cigar makers for the past, since the beginning. But that's going to change quickly, very soon. We're going to start bringing in, CEOs, business owners. We're going to bring them in and talk to them because I don't think that I'm not trying to make this just a cigar show. This is the lounge. Anyone's welcome in the lounge. Any race, gender, nationality, ethnicity, anywhere. You're allowed to come here and talk with us because we want to, we're the people. Like the Constitution. Look, let's look up, let's talk about Throwback Thursday. Let's look up the Constitution. The Constitution. How does it start? Let's see. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. If you're not American, that hit me right here. We the people. We. Because you know what? At the end of the day, the English were on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. We were over here, fighting. We were grinding out here, building cities. We were building towns. We were building, everything, infrastructure, everything here. What were they doing over there? Sitting on their high throne, ha ha ha, pay us your taxes. Ha ha ha, pay us your taxes. And we were like, no. Bet we're not going to pay you anything. We were like, we the people, because we make the decisions. Because you know what? There's 1,000, a million of us. How many of you are there? How many? One, the king. Oh, the king. And then they came over and they tried to fight us. And we were like, yeah, no, you don't know this land. We know this land because it's our land. We the people. In order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity. We did this so that we could grow as individuals. I very much love the Constitution. Oh, the other constitutions are here. Like, let's look at I don't want to talk about other constitutions just in case one of you is like, oh no. So yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, I want to bring in the people. I want to see what you're saying because at the end of the day, you guys are the people that really demand this show. Not demand, but you guys are the ones that I do this for. I don't do this I do it for myself too because I want to grow my personal brand, but I do this for you guys. If you guys like watching and you guys keep commenting and liking and I keep seeing growth, like I'm going to keep doing it. I don't want to let you guys down. You know what I mean? Like, this is for you guys as much as it is for me. And so I want you guys to have a say in what goes on in the show. If you don't like this episode, say, Javi, shut up. We don't want to hear you ramble. If you like it, my rambling, be like, Javi, I like your rambling. It's that simple. Just give me feedback. I don't have a lot of feedback to work with. So Yeah. So now, today, actually, May 17th in 1954. This one's pretty iconic, you know? And that's why I picked it, because it was a point in time when a lot of bad things were going on, a lot of injustice was going on. Like we just talked about, like let me read this to you. The Constitution says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility." And so today in 1954, Brown versus the Board of Education is decided. If you don't know what it is, let me read this to you. In a major civil rights victory, the U.S. Supreme Court hands down an unanimous decision in Brown versus Board of Education, ruling that racial segregation in public educational facilities is unconstitutional. God bless the Supreme Court. They know what they are doing. Thank God we had voice of reason in this time of just complete chaos. I don't know, man, like, when I see injustices happen, like, I feel it on the inside, you know what I mean? And so that's why I thought that this was a pretty iconic moment in our history. Recent history, I mean, this was only like, well, it's about to be 75 years ago. Wow. It's about to be like 70 years ago. That's pretty crazy. It's been 70 years already. There's people alive right now that were alive when this happened. And 20 years from now, 30 years from now, they're going to be like, what, 10 people alive that were alive for this? That's why I like saying, like, go out, talk to old people. Like, old people know what's up. Like, they know, they have the knowledge and the experience. Like, they've seen things we couldn't even imagine. Like, they didn't have the internet, bro. Like, they didn't have this. Like, they didn't have this. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like, just before I forget, that's for the thumbnail. If you watched yesterday's episode, you know what that was about. But yeah, man, like, they know what's up. They didn't have the internet, bro. They had to grind, and like, grinding back then was not staying in your bed until posting things on Instagram. Grinding for them was 6 a.m. every day, and especially if you have immigrant parents like I do. My parents, maybe not so much because they were in school and they were young, but my grandparents, bro, 6 a.m. every day, go out, grind till 7, 8 o'clock at night. Come back home dead tired. They didn't have the internet. They had TV? Oh my God, I watched the local news. Take your ass to sleep. Repeat the next day, every day. Maybe not Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Honestly, even Saturday and Sunday. I know they used to work at the Buguero over on 37th and Flagler, or where the dog track is. They have like a flea market there every Saturday and Sunday. And my grandpa, he used to go there every week with my uncle and my uncles and my great uncle, and they would go there and they would work Saturday and Sunday during the flea market. They would sell jewelry. So you got to grind, and they grinded, and they know. And if you don't listen to them, Pitbull said something. Pitbull, give me a sec. Pitbull is a smart man. I said it. Don't crucify me yet. Pitbull said, "El que no oye consejo, no llega viejo." And what that means is, if you don't listen to advice, you're not going to get old. Or you won't reach, I think a better translation is, you won't reach wisdom without listening to others. El que no oye consejo, no llega viejo. You will not achieve wisdom without hearing out people's advice. Doesn't mean you have to take everyone's advice. Not everyone knows what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. But from my perspective, I think this is what you should do, is what I'm trying to say. And I guess that's advice within it of itself, in a way. Basically, advice to go listen to other people's advice, which basically means listen to what I'm telling you, which is listen to other people. They know, especially old people. They know what they're doing. And so the Brown versus Board of Education, iconic moment in the U.S. history, I think. Iconic moment in, the world's history when we finally abolished, segregation in schools, I think. Obviously, after we had this whole civil rights, but this was the pinpoint. This was like the turning point for African Americans. Iconic. And so the last one happened 2 days from now on Saturday, May 19th in 1943. Churchill and FDR plot D-Day, which is On this day, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill and U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt set a date for the cross-channel landing that would become D-Day, May 1st, 1944. That date will prove a bit premature as bad weather becomes a factor. Wow, this one didn't have a lot of information. Now there's a truck coming in the background. This one didn't have a lot of information. Let me see if I could look up D-Day so I could read to you about D-Day. Okay, it's not letting me. Quick copy and paste into Google as I look for this. So the day, June 6th, 1944. So this was planned in 1943. Jeez, a year they waited. Oh my God, time moved so slow back then. So D-Day happened in June 6th, 1944, but the 19th of May, so 2 days from now, a year before, they waited a year to attack, but a year before they planned this. And that day, June 6, 1944, in World War II, in which Allied forces invaded northern France by means of beach landings in Normandy. Iconic. Man, the U.S. has a lot of history to it. We're not that old of a country, not like, Spain or England or Germany or any of these old countries. But man, we got some history, man. We've been involved in a lot of things. We've been involved in a lot of decisions that I think have altered, space-time itself. Don't want to get too philosophical, but I really do think that we've played a major part in a lot of decisions around the world, and people look to us for guidance. So we gotta, when you're an American, you really gotta wear your country with pride. You know what I mean? Like, forget who's president and who's in Congress and all these politicians. You are an individual, and so represent your country regardless of who's in power with your best character and your best actions, I guess. That about does it for Throwback Thursday. I went through all the articles pretty fast. Nothing really interesting. I remember the first one we talked about the moon landing or something like that, or the spaceship taking off into space for the first time. I know the other day Elon sent a rocket. It might be today. Or no, was it yesterday? He sent a rocket out into space. I'm not sure when that was, but I know, or if it's happened yet, I know it's bubbling in the time soon. I remember when the first one launched like 2 months ago. You've heard this story already. Well, if you like what we had to say and you want to hear more, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. If you want to see more of what we're up to, you could go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Gable Cigars. And that about does it for Throwback Thursday. Today has been Thursday, May 17th, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow for Friday's favorites.